Friday, guys. We are live with Winter Cup Day 2.
Back for Day 2.
Oh yes, the top cut has been decided. We've already had some bad news. Local Bridgend player Gareth has been eliminated on a game loss to incorrect limit break.
So the downside of first round being best of one here.
Yeah. So top 10 will get the bye. Well, technically now 11 will get a bye.
I don't know if it'll be 11 because I assume he was playing somebody and he wasn't already in the top
10. But so they effectively get a game win.
If he was already in the top 10, it would change something else around, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have Kendrick versus James today, a Mono Earth versus Knights list for round 1. This will be a best of 1 situation, and then from there on it will be a best of 3. Oh, what a day this is going to be. We're going to be starting pretty soon. I know we only really got their handles at the moment, but you can go to the battlefields.co.uk to see who has made it into the top cut.
Yeah, it'd be under FFTCG, and there should be standings. Or
under pairings, yeah. That's
but
it.
in first place, we've got somebody under the moniker Badger Smasher. Then Kagiri, Tak Hanu, Blue Kerr, A Flora, local...
Oh yes, Mason our local.
Mason is Volta. 7th is School Leonhart. 8th is Xeno Fantasy. 9th is Yehora. 10th is James McCourtney. 11th is Shiro. 12th is Mr. Cool. 13th is Shaun Kendrick. 14th is James Duff from the YYT. 15th is somebody called Callum. 16th is Ruse Kaiser. 17th is Dan Harbin. 18th is Liadon. 19th Ben Roberts. 20th Wild Toops. 21st is George Wormsley, and 22nd is something the Toast Lord. I've written it down badly.
Well, guys, obviously we'll let you know throughout the day who drops and games that will be happening.
Who's going through to round 2.
Yeah, exactly that. So I'm just going to keep an eye out on the gameplay table. We are just shuffling up now.
I've heard the buzzer go, so they'll be starting anytime soon.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is we are going to go on over to the gameplay table and let's get ready. Obviously, we've seen Kendrick on the
Mono Earth yesterday.
Yeah, so he has been on stream already, but quite a lot of these top cuts have. That's the nature of doing well, pretty much.
And we've amended the camera angle slightly.
So yeah, hopefully.
Today and yesterday's, hopefully it's a little bit better. But if you've got any issues with us, do let us know.
Yeah, welcome back, McMull. Thanks for joining us.
I'm a bit quiet. I'll turn myself up a little bit.
Go on, give us a roar.
Rah!
So, Duff, obviously, YYT put in a really good showing yesterday, so big up to them. Duff throwing off 2 Gigawall lists, I believe, in one day, both on stream.
Yeah, he played one on stream, and then he played...
Kiddie for round 7, yeah. Absolutely smashed our poor Cactuars. It's just rude, to be honest.
I know, right?
But
we're at Cardiff. You just have to let the Cactuars away.
I know, but again, friends of the channel, we can't hate on you for all that. But yeah,
but there were some great games to watch yesterday, and so we've gone straight into a Ramza here. Not Ramza, Gawain, to grab a Ramza and a Corilla.
Yeah.
And a Corilla already in break zone though. Against we've got these names the wrong way around.
Oh, that. It's the camera messing me up again, that is.
And you know when we go back to locals, and it's
going to mess. Yeah, I know.
You're going to be having that problem.
I know. It's the way it goes.
So a Lightning and a Sophie gone. I don't think Sophie's really playable this game, is it? Because it's going to be too quick.
No, exactly. And it's just going to get sniped, and it's going to not draw you a card. It's just going to deal you a damage. So
yes, yeah.
Right, I'm going to let you talk. I'm just going to spread this
Star Sybil into Shantoto. So that Shantoto is in hand, ready to go.
Kendrick is prepared. He's seen the lists. We haven't been handed them yet. I'm not sure if they're doing lists for round 1.
I don't know if there were lists handed over for round 1. I think it's normally only if it's best of 3, but that could have been the case. But this game started very quickly, if so.
Yeah. Well, we wanted a dead-on half-9 start, and that's exactly what we got. So
the Knights player going into Lena, James as well, going into Lena, just building a little bit of a backup line. I suppose it's a hard judge of when do you pull this Ramza Corilla trigger now, if there's a Shantoto in hand.
Well, I think now...
Warping the Ramza.
This is an interesting idea, because in theory what we could do is we could just wait as long as possible and hope to get a Amat in hand.
Yeah, and there is a Corilla already in break, so the one in hand can just stay there.
Yeah, exactly that. This.
But I was going to say, like, do you reckon you just Corilla and then keep the Rams in hand for when it dies? You can go again, or how? What would you reckon was the best way to handle this? But
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? But
it looks like Shaun debating going into the Luna Freya here. Just a couple of things being pointed out. There's a table judge today, so no running over.
No running,
me,
yeah.
Thankfully. Especially when people always do what I'm going over to tell them about just as I leave the commentary booth.
Yeah. It's always getting your steps in. That's what I make Jacko do all the time.
And hello, Rivori. Hope you're having a good day.
Yeah, nice of you to join us yet again.
So Luna Freya, that is one EX that it's two EXs that it's flipped. So three. So you've got Claris, Sonon, or Vossler.
Yeah.
So Sonon would kill the Gwain, but that's kind of all it does. So I think Claris to build backups here isn't a bad choice.
Exactly, because now we can go
Epitaph, which will grab you Leo.
So yes, Epitaph will grab Leo, but obviously we could also potentially grab a Kolka here, if obviously it's in the deck.
We don't even necessarily need to play this Claris here because you've got the Epitaph in hand. Like it could search again, but the Epitaph will play the same. Will search the Leo on curve anyway, unless you also want to get a Kolka at the same time.
Well, that's it. So the Kolka, in theory, depending on which one is played, could either search you another Earth forward, put you on 3 backups so that your Shantato is ready on curve.
Yeah.
And in theory, could also be the damage Kolka, which could also kill.
Oh, because you reveal a card in hand,
Yeah.
don't you, and you shoot something for that much damage.
So.
A bit of a conversation about like the Luna Freya.
And the word.
I think it was whether it triggers the Lena EX, which I believe it does, which I think James has just drew there, because it's an EX that uses the stack, but it's still an EX burst.
Yeah, exactly that. But we're all on the up and up. We've got a lovely table judge at their side. So
yeah, playing Epitaph, grabbing Leo. So there's a Claris in hand, Leo, and some more cards.
Oh. Yeah, they were just discussing the.
Yeah.
Because I think, if we look at Luna Freya, its trigger, its EX.
If the card
burst.
added it has an EX burst, you may trigger the EX burst effect.
Which we did. So Lena would draw.
Must. It's just one of those few EX bursts that can be interacted with. There's an old Axe star that does the same thing, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly.
You just re-triggered one that was already in your damage.
Exactly that. Yeah, the fire one, that used to be really good, that did.
So Rams are down to 1 warp counter.
Yeah, must remember these counters, folks. They are official.
Yeah, there's going to be a judge straight on all of this today.
Yeah. But again, both players fighting for their tournament lives here. This is only a best of one, so they do need to be very careful.
I think Shaun's looking in a good spot here with that Shantato in hand, which you're just never going to get rid of.
Yeah. So I mean, if he can build to, say 3 to 4 backups, keep the threat of that Toto open, and just keep applying some forward pressure, we could be in for a game. But it depends on how he deals with this Ramza that's going to enter the field.
So if you target the Luna Freya here, you could start forcing Shaun to discard per turn, because the Gwain would be able to attack through. But I think going for the backup is also a good choice.
Yeah. Well, we're going into the LB.
Luna Freya? No, we paid 4, so Beatrix. So how many knights does Beatrix need?
Well,
but Keeley, and something I didn't even think about there, was that Beatrix does trigger another Laswell, Dullen Freeze. So it's both backups out.
Exactly that. And now
it's 3 or more knights, and that includes herself. So
well, so in theory, we're keeping a hold of the Gorillas are in the break zone, but when this Ramza enters, we may not even necessarily need to go after the Gorilla.
No, and you've got 3 attackers ready to go with 2 more Dull Freezes.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming there's not a Mist Dragon in Shaun's hand.
Yeah, well, I was speaking to James before the round, just to find out why he was playing, because we obviously didn't have the list at the time. And he did let me know this isn't a really traditional sort of Knights list. So there is a lot of the sort of Tyver, Smog.
Okay, because at the moment I only see traditional.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
In both the break zone and on field. So it's kind of, I think Shaun's in a hard placed spot now, because there's already 3 attackers out, and Ramza's about to come in, probably hitting a Beatrix. Although, with the amount that James has already got on field, what the Beatrix can hit has halved quite a lot. I think the only remaining targets are obviously like Steiner, Deleter, Charlotte. I can't remember what the fire one's called. Is it Lilith?
Yeah, there is
The
Lilith.
2-drop fire one. Obviously, with Laswell, Gwaine, you can't play another Beatrix because there's already going to be a one on field.
Yeah.
You do up your chance of missing.
Well, this is the problem we got now for Shaun. Obviously, we lost our backups. We still need a couple more. But if that Ramsar enters, we could be in a world of trouble.
Yes, because you're going to get double Dolphreys again on the backups, as well as the anytime tap 4 to just break the Lunafreya and deal point damage.
Because right now we could discard 2 and play that Claris we got to hand. Mm-hmm. But will we then be able to afford
the Shantoto?
Yeah, because obviously we are going to have to pay 8 for it.
You're going to, and you're also getting up to potentially 4 Dull and Freeze triggers off of Laswell.
Yeah, we have,
and you can't finish with only Shantoto in hand because the Laswell discard effect.
Yeah, exactly. We have to know that we're going to be paying 8 CP for this Shantoto.
Yeah. Or has Shaun got a way to Ami the entry from the Ramsar?
Perhaps, yeah. Like make sure that it doesn't even enter the field. But again, he needs fire CP, and I don't think his list has generic fire CP.
I think it does because the amount of multi-element cards in the deck.
Oh yeah, I suppose you might have Bash, for example.
Yeah, there'll be Bash, might be the fire lightning Y'shtola, because that sometimes will play in mono earth decks and things like that. But thinking very long and hard about this. Because this turn could probably have the most impact that there's going to be.
Absolutely. It feels like the entire game hangs in the balance with this next decision.
Because if you just build more backups here, if that Gorilla hits really well, it didn't matter that you played them, they'll all be Dull and Froze again.
Yeah, exactly, because we could hit Charlotte, we could hit Lilith.
Well, you've got at least 2 knights coming in between Ramsar and Gorilla, so that's at least 2 Dull Freezes.
Yeah. So the question is, do we preemptively pull the trigger on Toto, or do we risk and wait for mass?
I don't think you could play it now, because if the Gorilla then hits really, really well, you're in the exact same situation.
This is true. No, but I think Kendrick's going for it. We're doing it now. Toto out.
Ooh, so that is leaving Kendrick with 1 card in hand?
It is indeed.
That is expensive.
But it does.
And the Lunafreya will go as well.
It does mean we won't get any Dull and Freezes on the entry of the round.
Unless the Beatrix.
And so the Gorilla coming in could be the big problem here.
So Ramsar's going to target Gorilla.
Right, let's flip. Here we go. 1, that's not 1.
2.
That's 1.
3.
That's not 1.
4.
That's not 1.
5.
Oof,
So
we hit a Steiner.
So Lilith shoots something, I believe, on entry, or does it generate a crystal? I believe it's called Lilith. I can't actually remember the name.
It is
I
Lilith.
am correct. It's being called Lilith. Oh, it just gains a crystal on entry, which has been marked to the top left. And then Steiner bounces a forward of 3 or less, or does... Oh, I think buffs want something you've got by 2k, which I don't think really matters here. But Keeley, there's 4 knights on field.
There is,
which I think is the thing that matters the most.
But importantly, one of them isn't Laswell.
No, that was the big thing for Shaun here, but obviously that tap 4, deal point damage, break forward effect is ready to go.
Yeah, exactly that.
And I was right with the Steiner. All forwards gain 2k. What a good effect on a 2-drop.
Yeah, 2-drop 7k. I know it's multi-element and all, but damn. For something that enters for free as well. Mm-hmm. Good lord.
It's a shame that none of them can attack, or there were no forwards on the field to bounce.
Well, that's what I mean. I understand Shaun's predilection for wanting to drop the Toto there, because even if we didn't, we were just going to get completely frozen out anyway. Mm-hmm. So we weren't going to get...
But you would have still been able to Shantoto the critical mass amount.
Yeah. I'm also pretty sure that Shaun's backup should be on just
They
Dull
should be
now.
Dull, yeah.
Yeah. So they should activate this next turn.
Yes, but I think James is just finishing off his turn. Unless something's happened that we don't know about, but I think... The Laswell Dull and froze them, then it went to Shaun's turn, so they should have been Dull and then back. But
yeah, exactly. So we might still need to have a shout, but we will wait and see what happens.
So there is a Charlotte in hand.
Oh, we did pull the Laswell. That's rough.
Dull and freezing the Toto. Yes, okay, there we go. They've caught that.
They caught it. That is rough, though. Laswell to freeze down the
See,
Toto.
I'm not sure which one was the better play here, because the Charlotte at least forces all targets to go on herself.
Again, though, Laswell is so...
But Laswell's forcing a discard
Yeah.
as well as dull freezing.
And the thing is Kendrick right now, because of the critical mass with Ramsar, can't play a forward here without losing a point of damage.
It will just get removed immediately, yeah.
So that Laswell... This, I think Knights is bad, like in terms of like how quickly you can ramp and things like that. But the moment you add in Laswell into that mix, in an off color, it's just brutal.
It's the protection that Corella offers.
Yeah.
Like, none of them take damage less than their power. When you've got 2 9Ks, and then a lot of the critical bit of Knights does hit like 7K plus as well.
Yeah.
With like Steiner and that. And then I know people used to try out the Avelia backup as well to bump them all by 1K, because actually increasing your smaller ones from 5 to 6 was key.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it put you out of a lot of those hit ranges.
Well,
and 7 to 8 stopped you being like warded and things like that.
Funnily enough, someone mentioned to me yesterday, sorry to the player who mentioned it, I can't remember who it was, actually said someone did dump an Avelia on them, and they just went, nuts.
They're all a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
It's staring down 5 Knights with no board clear because your Shantota's on field is going to be a rough one.
Quick, Joel, the one thing we forgot to ask actually is what time limit do we get for this? Is it just a standard 30-minute game?
I assume it's a standard 30 minutes because it's best of one.
Yeah, so what do you do if you're Kendrick here?
Without knowing what's in hand, I don't know. We've looked at the LB deck a few times. Another Luna Freya is not a terrible idea to try and, but then I don't know really what you can hit.
Yeah, exactly. You're in Mono Earth, you might hit a Kusith, but again,
yeah.
Does perhaps Shaun have some way to remove the Toto and we could LB Toto?
I was thinking about that earlier. Was LB Toto the better option? But then it just if they draw a Laswell, it just gets dull and froze the rest of the game.
True.
You can never play the backup Shantoto.
Yeah, this is a tough match. But here we go. We see Tyvus. This could be the game changer. Well, I say.
So what's the Tyvus getting? Mog?
Mog is a choice. We've got. I think James told me beforehand that he also has Axstar in the deck.
I think that's Mog.
That does look like a Mog to me.
Oh, you're not playing Axstar in this board state. You dull and freeze your whole board.
That's very true, actually.
I will give you a turn.
Yeah.
Go.
Have fun. Do something.
Yeah. I mean, Mog here kind of just
Secures,
seals the deal, right?
I mean, we still have a Star Sybil trigger, but we have to be really careful because the Laswell attack triggers is probably more detrimental.
Yeah, so Laswell's probably making you discard this turn based on the Express. So how many attackers have we got coming in? 5. So there's not lethal.
No, it will put us to damage 6, so unless we get something with haste.
And I think James can probably freely swing out.
Yeah,
unless you want to keep 4 up for the tap.
Yeah, this is a difficult one, right? Because
swinging in with the Steiner first. Damage is
Rydia. No dice.
Doesn't have any Express, no.
So probably well, I know that Shaun, we saw in his game yesterday, almost could have won with that Gilgamesh there, but...
yeah, that last turn was very much this could have gone either way.
Yeah.
So we are at least triggering a discard now, assuming Laswell survives the turn. So zeroing in Mog, draw. So that's the one good thing that is just Knights doesn't have haste. Otherwise there'd be a real problem.
Well, I mean, again, we don't have the list in front of us, so we're not entirely sure what James's options are on the Tyvus plays.
So discarding an Ignis, I believe?
No,
that's
it's a summon, I think. It's a Mist Dragon.
Oh, Mist Dragon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not going to do you too good. Right now.
Yeah, I mean, it might have done on the entry of the Ramsar initially, but obviously we didn't have that to hand. So
what could Shaun have in hand here that's going to help out? Obviously, there is all the backups up for once, but no...
we've just seen Sam Beasley the other side of our screens there. Is he out? Oh, no. So Sam Beasley has gone down in round 1 to Dan Haben. So that is
Another Knights player.
Yeah, Knights going through against Mono War. It was always going to be a tough matchup for Sam, but he did an excellent showing yesterday. So all props to him, especially after coming in runner-up place as well, technically in Cactuars. So he is putting on an absolute show in the last few months. Props to him.
So we are colour fixed here with the Shantoto, so we can play anything we need to.
I mean,
other than 4-colour wall.
Yeah, but what is it?
Anything that comes in can get.
No, and that's it.
That's game there.
Shaun, Kendrick going out in round 1 as well. Knights, man.
Is that Clive in hand?
Yeah, it looked like it. Oh, man. James showing that he just had it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a rough going. Really well played by both there. Shaun in a really tough spot early on. I don't know what difference we could have made there, to be honest. But I think we should have time for an interview.
Grab James over for
an interview. So let's go to a quick be right back, and we'll be back shortly.
See you soon.
Alrighty, guys, I'm back with the winner of round 1 of Top Cut, James Wild Toops himself, with a really solid showing with Knights there. Obviously, you tell me beforehand it wasn't a typical Knights list.
Yeah.
I think we got to see that there with the Tyvus Mog right at the end.
Yes.
How big, though? Like, I suppose the first question actually is the warp of the Ramser.
Yeah.
Not many people do that. Any particular reason why you do?
So, my Knights build's more of a. What it didn't look like it in this match, but I play it more mid-range.
Right.
So normally or at least most of the games that I played yesterday, my opening turn was Tyvus Mog. Mm-hmm. It would stall out my opponent, critical search that they can't get because the Mog's out. Whereas today, opened up the Ramser, Karilla, the Gawain instantly got me the search of a second Ramser. So the warp of the Ramser is. Because I play it more like a mid-range deck, I'm happy to wait a couple of turns, build up a bit, and then hopefully at that point, Ramser can come in. But also, the deck isn't entirely dependent on the Knights. The warrior package in there can hold up on its own. So if the warp counter gets Amaterasu'd, not everything's lost.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, obviously, we did see right at the end as well, obviously, you got Clive Ifrit in the deck as well.
Correct.
For example, had Shaun waited until the Ramser entry and then Shantotto'd, would you have just perhaps gone with Clive, drawn a couple cards off of it and just gone from there, or is it just a case of maybe draw a couple turns, wait it out? How'd you deal with that?
Yes, I think the hand that I had at the time, there was probably 2 options. So I had the Clive. It's certainly a reasonable strategy to play the Clive with haste, swing, draw 2 cards, potentially prime if I need it to be 10k ready for the next turn, and obviously I might not want to do the discard in the turn after that to then draw another 2 cards with Clive. But I did have, because of the Gawain, I had that second Ramser.
Sure.
So if the Shantotto did come down, and I had 2 Karilla in the bin.
Yeah.
So if that one Karilla that the Ramser pulled out got Shantotto'd, I had the second Ramser there waiting to go.
Yeah, and that was it, because we did see Shaun also discard a Mist Dragon, which we were probably quite happy about as well.
Yeah.
I mean, a turn earlier on that, and we could be having a completely different conversation, right? But
definitely. So
for the rest of the day, is there anything in the field that you're particularly worried about as a matchup?
I guess Chaos is a bit of a coin flip matchup.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many have made it into the top cut on Chaos.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know myself actually. Yeah. I'm not sure now.
But I mean, the way that my deck's built, Tyvus Mog really easily deals with my mono water matchup, mono earth matchup. They're both pretty good. So it's probably more Gigawall and Chaos are probably the like when it's aggro on aggro. That's probably the ones that I'm more concerned about. But I think the way I've built the deck, I've got responses. I did lose a Chaos match yesterday, but the opponent got to 0 cards in deck, so if he had literally drawn one more card, he would have decked out and I would have won the game. So it's one of those, it goes the limit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I know because we had Sam Beasley and Dan Hab and a Mono Water versus Knights match off, and the Knights took that one. So that's one less Mono Water in the list. But again, you're right, I'm not sure how many Chaos we actually got here. I know they were doing...
There was quite a few Chaos in the room yesterday, so I'm not sure.
I mean, you're probably like me though, right? You kind of find that Chaos gets to a point where it just kind of beats itself. It is disgusting to see in action, especially when you hit the double Raijin Fuji, but it can go itself. Well, Thank you for joining us, though. Congratulations
Yeah.
on your first win, and best of luck with the rest of it.
That's
Guys, we're going to take a short break now, and we will be back with now the best of three rounds going forward. So we'll be back shortly.